According to a 2009 study conducted by the American Academy of Pediatrics, in the United States alone, vaccines save over 42,000 lives and prevent 20 million cases of disease every year. Still, there are some risks involved with vaccinations, as there are with any medical procedure. Although there is much controversy regarding vaccines, most healthcare professionals agree that the benefits of vaccines outweigh the 1 to 2% of people who experience negative side effects. In order to make informed decisions, it is extremely important that American citizens are properly educated on the history, science, effectiveness, and safety of vaccines. The history of vaccines began in the late 1700s. According to a 2004 research document by Stern and Markle, the first vaccine was invented in 1796 by a man named Edward Jenner. Dr. Jenner observed that milkmaids who were infected with cowpox were less likely to become infected with smallpox, which is a much more dangerous version of the cowpox virus. As an experiment, Jenner injected the cowpox virus into a young boy's arm, and he observed that the boy became immune to both smallpox and cowpox, even after he was substantially exposed to both highly contagious diseases. Jenner published an inquiry into the causes and effects of the variole vaccine, in which he stated, quote, "The cowpox protects the human constitution from the infection of smallpox," unquote. Jenner's simple observation and theories laid the foundation for modern vaccine technologies. How do vaccines work? According to Medline Plus, a government-funded website, exposing a person to a less aggressive form of a virus will prevent him or her from contracting a more dangerous form of the virus in the future. Vaccines expose the human body to a small, safe amount of weakened or killed bacteria. The viruses in vaccines are not meant to expose the patient to the disease. Rather, these viruses will train the patient's body to defend itself against life-threatening diseases. Due to its controlled exposure to weakened or killed germs, the vaccinated immune system will learn to recognize the disease and is therefore more likely to be unaffected by it later in life. Are vaccines effective? According to vaccines.gov, a government-funded website providing relevant and current information on vaccines to American citizens, quote, "Childhood vaccines produce immunity about 90 to 100% of the time. Vaccines are the most effective tool we have to prevent infectious diseases." In addition to preventing diseases and saving lives, vaccines have also saved Americans more than $13.5 billion every year in illness-related expenses. As you can see from this chart from vaccines.gov, after the measles vaccine was introduced in 1962, the number of measles cases has steadily decreased. There is an inverse relationship between vaccine coverage and the numbers of the cases of measles. As the amount of people covered by the MMR vaccine rises, the amount of people affected by measles lowers. If this drastic decrease in disease were due to advanced hygiene or sanitation practices, as some have suggested, we would expect all major diseases to decrease at around the same time, but this is not at all what happened. If you were to look at the graph for nearly every other vaccine-preventable disease, you would see that the introduction of the vaccine directly corresponds with the lowering of that disease. Are vaccines safe? According to Dr. Robert Sears, author of the Vaccine Book, over 90% of vaccination patients do not experience any negative side effects at all, and less than 0.04% of those vaccinated experience negative side effects. Most of these go away within a few hours, but there are some reactions called anaphylactic reactions that are more serious and can even be life-threatening. Anaphylactic reactions are extremely rare, occurring less than 1 in a million cases. Even so, these reactions, if caught right away, are completely reversible. An unvaccinated person is 70 to 99% more likely to contract a vaccine-preventable disease than he or she is to experience a reaction to the vaccine itself. Despite what is commonly perceived, the ingredients and toxins in vaccines are safe. Dr. Shapiro, an award-winning pediatrician, explains, Most non-scientists don't even know what a toxin is. Vaccines are not toxic. The air we breathe is much more toxic than the vaccines we receive. Still, over 25% of parents in the US believe that vaccines are dangerous and lead to major health issues and serious illnesses, which simply isn't true. Sadly, the declining vaccination rates have become apparent in the rising disease rates, and these numbers continue to rise as people continue to avoid vaccinations. Since the first vaccine was administered in 1796, vaccines have proven to be an effective tool in the fighting and prevention of the spread of disease with a fantastic success rate of 90 to 100%. It is vital to the health of our nation as a whole that parents and individuals are properly educated on the history, science, effectiveness, and safety of vaccinations. Vaccines save lives, over 42,000 per year to be precise, and those who choose not to receive them are putting themselves and others at risk of disease.